Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Straight cash, homie.
Hold on to your butts.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Basic Monsters Game Day Podcast on SportsZone Chicago. We got another big day in the NFL. A couple big matchups. Playoff time, baby. Playoffs. We got the first game of the day, Browns and Chiefs. And this one, this one is not going to lack any offense. But I think it's going to be the defenses that make the greatest impact down the stretch. Luke, what's up, bro? How are you? Big day for your Bucks as well. But what's up with this Browns-Chiefs game?
Man, it's gonna. It has the potential to be a classic. To tell you the truth, it could end up being Cleveland's run game against Kansas City's pass game. And if Cleveland can run the ball more and keep burn that clock and keep Mahomes off the field, Cleveland's got a shot of getting out of here. That defense is going to have to play though. For Cleveland, that defense is going to have to be on point. They're going to have to get to Patrick Mahomes, and they're going to have to rattle him. Because you let that guy stand back there, everybody knows what could happen there. But man, this might be the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like this could be better than the Super Bowl. Because Baker's coming off being pretty hot. My only thing is I feel like Baker doesn't play as in control as Mahomes, and Mahomes has been in these big games, so he has a little more experience at it. But I feel like if Baker can just manage the game and if he throws 2 interceptions, I think Kansas City wins this easy. But if he keep the ball out of that Kansas City defense's hands, I think Cleveland's got a shot.
Look, they're talking about, I was watching a pregame all morning, but they're talking about 2 possession leads, and we know that with Kansas City, if Kansas City gets a 2 possession lead, it's all but done. It's all but done. Especially if you can't match the speed of in which they score. I feel like the Chiefs right now, they're the team to beat, that's no doubt. But I feel like they are susceptible. And they were like I said in the pregame show, they were talking about Pat Mahomes and where his interceptions come from. It's not when you bring pressure. It's not against the blitz. It's when you drop 8 back, when you drop guys back into coverage and you only rush 3, you only rush 4. You pretty much only rush the guys on your line, and you force him to be perfect all the way down the field. Force him to be perfect all the way down the field. As good as he is, he has run into interceptions this season, and that's how they've gotten him.
Yeah, and there's going to be some motivation on both sides of this team, just because there's been a little trash talk, but between Kareem Hunt, Andy Reid, the Chiefs. Period. We all know why Kareem Hunt got booted. So I'm not trying to stand up for the guy, but I'm just saying there might be a little added, maybe a quicker step, or maybe one more little truck. That is gonna flatten Kansas City. But man, like I said, if Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt can get going and they keep Patrick Mahomes off the field, man, it's gonna be wow. It's gonna be crazy. But the thing is, Patrick Mahomes only needs 30 seconds to score, so they could go up and then boom, be even again in the blink of an eye. So Cleveland's gonna have to be in it for the long haul. They're gonna have to execute across the board. They're going to have to use everybody: Landry, Peoples, Jones, Joku.
Peoples-Jones is the one guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah. They're going to have to use everybody, and they're going to have to go left and right and north and south. They're going to have to go. They're going to have to get this defense running. And I'm telling you, and I say it every damn time, and nobody does it, but they got to pick on Sorensen.
Oh yeah, Sorensen. Yeah, you mentioned it almost damn near every time Kansas City takes the field on defense.
And nobody throws it towards it. I'm like, what's up?
Sorensen. It's part of the pass rush for Kansas City. It's pretty good at generating a rush without having to bring another linebacker. So that's a plus for the Chiefs. But if you're the Browns, it's gonna be Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt down your throat all day long until you can stop it. Work play action off of that. Attack down the middle of the field with Austin Hooper and with Njoku. You got to be able to use your tight ends in this game, because if they're going to go ahead and if you're going to sit and pretty much say we're going to run down your throat and whatever say, I would imagine you bring in those 2 tight ends. You need to start. You need to make sure that you use them. You can't look to the outside. You don't have Odell Beckham. I mean, not that you needed him. You might have been better without him. But you're gonna need to bring those tight ends into the forefront, because I feel like if Kansas City starts picking on you, starts reading that run, they start bringing guys right over the middle of the field. You know, is going to be wide open. You can attack and get chunk yardage that way. But my thing is, how is your defense going to stop Kansas City?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? You know, they're going to get theirs. It's just, you know, nobody's figured that out, so they're going to get theirs. My thing is, if I'm Kansas City, like, you know what? If I'm Cleveland, I'm going to double Tyreek Hill. I don't care. Like, Kelsey's going to eat. We know Kelsey's going to eat, but outside of that, Patrick Mahomes is going to have to pick and choose. Is it going to be Hardman? Is it going to be Robinson? He's going to have to find somebody else that, you know, he's not that comfortable with throwing. I mean, he can still hit them because all of them could run. They all run like 4.3 40s. So I mean, they're all speedsters. But you take away his number one, you know, over there in Tyreek Hill, and just let Kelsey play. I mean, that's fine. To me, that's a win for them. That to me, take away that deep threat, and don't let that guy be out there. Don't have any busted coverage, and just keep a safety over the top of him at all times. Speaking of the safeties, vice versa, I think that is the guy that Baker needs to keep his eye on today in Tyrann Mathieu. I feel like if he throws one up there, Tyrann's going to get that, and it's coming back. So it's going to be interesting. Baker's going to have to play. Like I said, I think Baker's whole thing is just play with you know, just be calm. Just be calm. Don't let the game get bigger than you. You know what I mean? Like, just keep it in your pocket. Do what you got to do. Take what they give you. And then when it comes time to take a shot, put the ball in the right spot. You know, sometimes down the sideline, it's got to be my guy or out of bounds. So, you know, it's going to be placement with him. And like I said, he's going to have to keep his eyes on Tyrann Mathieu, because that guy could change a game real quick.
Let's go ahead and jump over to your game tonight, the later game, round 3, if you will. Bucks, Saints, Brady versus Breeze. The storyline's all over the place. You can just look at the game and it's a story. You know what I mean? There's a storyline added to it at any part. Man, I think it's going to come down to your running game. I really do. I really think it's how many rushing yards can you get? How can that running game affect your passing game as far as taking pressure off of Tom Brady coming from that rush? That's the name of the game for me, for the Bucs.
Yeah, no, and the other one's going to be, you know, for the Bucs is going to be, you know, what do you do with Alvin Kamara? You know, you got to cover for him. You got to have somebody on him. That defense, the front seven has to get pressure on Drew Brees. That's exactly what needs to happen. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They need to cut him loose, send some blitzes at him. You know, Kamara's still going to get his. We all know that. Michael Thomas is probably going to get his. But it's not the Michael Thomas of earlier this year or last year. So there is a little bit of a step down, if you will, from the way that him and Breeze have been playing in previous years. That secondary of Tampa is the test. You know, if they can cover and maybe even snag one from Drew Brees, then I think they're sitting pretty. But if they start getting blown out, you know, coverages start slipping, guys are running wide open, and it's just going to be part 3 of what we already saw twice this year. And hopefully we can run the ball more than 5 times.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be the must, man. Like, honestly, that's going to be the must. We know they have weapons to get downfield, but if they know what's coming and they could just sit in coverage, it's the same thing we're talking about. I mean, typically you know what's coming, and if I could go back to the last game, Edwards-Helaire will be out for the Chiefs, so that's going to be even tougher for them. Even though they have Le'Veon Bell, the more the merrier.
Yeah.
As far as playmakers, but getting back to this game, we know they have playmakers that can get downfield. It's how can they generate yardage and eat up clock? You know what I'm saying? Like, they need to be able. You have two guys that should be able to run in between their tackles, but you have an offense that can't run in between the tackles. I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand how they want to use Ronald Jones and Fournette.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. That they should be running. They should be gouging teams for yardage in the middle of the field, and it's been a struggle.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it has, and then you know, Jones has been out a little bit. Fournette was hurt a couple times, so it's not been many games where they've actually had both of them in the backfield. So they got to. They got to come up with a game plan, man. They got to be able to run that ball. You know, that's just going to be it. Because if you know, if you got Breeze over there, another gunslinger, you know, the kid, you know,
he just maintains now, I would say.
Right. But I mean, he's one slant play away. You hit the guy right in stride with the slant, and bam, there he goes, right down the middle of the field. You know, it's not only, you know, them stopping the pass, it's the pass after the yards after the catch, the yak. That's what's they need to keep that to a bare minimum. Like as soon as these guys are getting the ball, they got to put them on the ground. They start letting them go, you know, running around. Taysom Hill's another guy you're gonna have to worry about at some point. But you know, I feel like they know the Saints enough, and since the Tampa Bay has played the Saints since the last game they played in the season, their offense has clicked a little bit better. So hopefully that offense maintains that, and they can start getting down the field because they're going to need everything they can to beat these Saints.
The guy everybody loves to hate, Antonio Brown. I think he's going to be a huge part of to what to the Bucs' success or lack thereof tonight. They need to find him. They need to find him, and they need to hit him every time he's open. I heard some suggestions about bringing him into the backfield as well for passes coming out of the backfield. So he would be the outlet for Tom as opposed to having a Fournette, or you have both him and Fournette in the backfield, or Jones in the backfield and have a dual threat coming out of there. But me, I just think down the field against the Saints team, AB needs to come up big.
Yeah, and not just big on the field. Like he should be coming up big right now in that locker room because those guys have playoff experience. You got Tom Brady, you got Gronkowski, you got Antonio Brown. These guys have all been there. They've all won it. Right now, these guys need to be the ones taking over the talks or the speeches and just letting, you know, they got to be, you know, inspire these other guys. Not that they need much inspiration. It's the playoffs. First time a lot of them have been in the playoffs. So
I think the most that they should tell them is stay on your fucking game plan.
Yeah.
Don't let this shit swallow you up.
Right.
Like especially for younger players, and I don't know if they're gonna have fans there. Are they? No,
I don't know. They're in New Orleans. I think they did last time.
But it's not gonna be significant enough.
Yeah, no.
But either way, stay on your game plan. Do not stray away from. Stay focused on what your job entails. Do not try to do too much if you're the. You know, I would imagine they'd be telling the younger guys. I think they just need to hear one voice. Like if you're the Bucs, you hear one voice. It is the guy who's won 6 Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? Like if that's a guy that if Tom has something to say before this game, then shut the fuck up and listen. And you know, going on the other side, same thing. You got a coach and a quarterback that have done it so many times. You got have done so much and have worked so well. Won a Super Bowl together, in Sean Payton and Drew Brees. You got to follow suit to what their game plan is. You got to trust. If you're a younger player, you have to trust in what they're doing, and stick to what your job is, because that's the best. I mean, that's the best thing you could do is just stick to what your job is. Make sure you do your job the best. I would just imagine something like that.
Yeah, it's got to be that. I'm not too worried about the front seven on our defense. You know, the front seven is pretty solid. It's you know, when you get back to our secondary, the average age is 23 years old. So those are the guys that got to, you know, not blow the coverage, not make the goofy play. You know, don't try for the knockout blow when you could, you know, easily just tackle the guy. You know what I mean? Like, don't try to be a superstar. Don't let the game get bigger than you. You know, play calm, play under control. And I think if they do that, then I think the front seven is going to be good enough to, you know, of course they're going to take their shots down the field. That's just the Saints' MO. But they're not going as far down the field thanks to Drew Brees' arm and maybe even some of those ribs, maybe to an extent. But you know, to me those are the guys that have the great game is that secondary, because that front seven is legit. It's legit. You know, I could see them stopping Alvin Kamara really and holding him maybe even underneath 100 yards. But you know, that secondary is just those young guys, man. They just seem to give up a big play when they don't need to. And like I said, they're the ones to me that need to have everything in order and play. They basically need to play a perfect game.
Well, I'm rooting for you. I'm pulling for them. I'll say that. I don't see this being a shootout. I see it being very, very methodical. One hell of a chess match And it's not going to be like that first time the Bucks came out. Remember the first game? They tried to air it out, and it was like, yeah. Oh no, excuse me, it was the second game. The second game they tried to air it out, and that was a game that they only had 5 rushers.
Yep.
And it was like, what the fuck was that? Like, are you kidding,
Right.
kidding me? They have to. You have to know in the back of your mind, don't do that again.
Yeah.
Which means if you're not going to run, you need to be able to hit the underneath route. You need to be able to hit your running backs coming out of the backfield. You need to find, even if you are running, you need to be able to gain some short yardage in order to open up over the top. Because I think the Saints are sitting on that. They were sitting on that the last game.
Yeah, no, I agree. The other thing is like, there's got to be somebody talking about, listen, we get past this game, we play Green Bay. We've already stomped Green Bay. Like we beat them. Like, we need to get past this game right now. Don't look past the Saints by any means, but also feel good in the fact that, you've played this other team that you have to beat after the Saints. And you could go back and look at your own tape. You don't have to go back and look at any other team's tape. You go back and look and see what you did well that caused them problems. And you pretty much have the MO or the MO of what they're going to do and what you need to do.
I think the third time's a charm for the Bucks. I really do. I think
I hope so.
is going to be it for the Bucks. I think they're going to win this game. And here we'll go ahead and I'll start. I'm going to wrap things up, but I want to go ahead and get our picks. We'll start with the first game, Bucks and Chiefs. I'll go first. I think it's going to be an upset. I think it's going to be one hell of a game, but I think it's going to be an upset. There's just something about Browns and Bills that sounds right about this year. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I think Cleveland's gonna win it by the slimmest of margins. And I am gonna make it 1 point just because I just feel like it's gonna have to be a dramatic type of a win. I'm gonna go 24-23 Browns.
Wow. Yeah, that's good. I mean, even if you're a betting person, if the Chiefs score a touchdown, you still win. If they win by a touchdown, you still win because the Browns are +8. So, it's hard for me to pick against Kansas City, and it's hard for me to pick Cleveland. So I'm kind of in this but I got the orange lights on today, and I'm gonna go with Cleveland too, and I'm gonna make it a little heavier. I'm gonna make it 33-27 Cleveland.
Millie's pissed.
Well, so it's probably a lot of other people I know that I used to live in Kansas City, so they're probably not too happy with me either. But hey, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Chiefs without Edwards-Helaire is a different team. Le'Veon Bell is not the Le'Veon Bell of old.
He's not.
So you got to take that into consideration. I'm sorry, it's just they can't throw the ball every time. That's too easy. But then, like I said, Le'Veon's not going to be breaking out with Edwards-Helaire is a gasher, and he hits people, carries people. Le'Veon Bell, he does that stutter step behind the line, and then goes. And then by then, his momentum is done. So you're looking at 4 or 5 yard carries.
He don't want to hit no more.
Right.
I don't think Le'Veon wants to hit anymore. Doug says no cheeseburger for Andy Reid. Yeah, I don't think so, dude. I don't think so. Yeah, I think that's a high possibility, man. Especially when you have a team that could match you. Cleveland can keep pace, and their running game can keep them in it. Like they can.
Yeah, that's why I'm leaning towards it, because they can chew up that clock.
Now, the second game, I'll go ahead and I'm going to take the Bucks. I think it's going to be Tampa Bay 34. We'll go New Orleans. It's going to be pretty close. New Orleans 28, I want to say. So it's just going to be like about a touchdown separation. But I just think the Bucks find a way to eat up time, get a turnover on defense, because you saw the turnovers that the Bears were getting.
Mm-hmm.
You saw how they weren't really particularly taking care of the ball. A solid defense or a solid game plan from a defense. And like I said, this is the third time you played them. Drew Brees didn't have crack ribs. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have this new found identity, I guess. I guess you refound your identity as an offense. So you were struggling with that early on. It's a different type of game, man. I feel like the Bucks can do it.
Yeah, I hope they can, man. I mean, like I said, they need to be able to run the ball. I'm not worried about the receivers if because Godwin, any of those guys can take it to the house anytime. And then you got the guy that can jump for anything in Mike Evans. So the passing game, but to me, it all hinges on that running game. They have to stick with it. I don't care if it's not doing anything. You still got to stick with it because you have to give the illusion of you're still going to try to run the ball in order to have play action work down the field. But yeah, I'm gonna go a little bit lower. I'm gonna go 29-26 Buccaneers on a late field goal.
Close one, huh?
Yeah.
We'll see, man. We'll see. I'm excited. I can't wait. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. We'll see you at halftime, where my co-host on the Bear League pregame show and on Halitech Hall, Michael Halitech, will join us. Breaking down what's going on in the first half of Browns and Chiefs, and hopefully it's going to be an exciting game. I hope it's not a blowout by the Chiefs. Let's just make it an entertaining game. Like I feel like the Chiefs could pull it off, but like to pull off a blowout early. But I'd rather
let's hope that Andy Reid doesn't turn into Schwarzkopf and hit him with the shock and awe and just kill him.
Right, exactly. All right, guys. Until halftime of Browns and Chiefs, I'm Ivan Vargas. That's Luke Nettles. This has been the Base Monsters Game Day Podcast on SportsZone Chicago.
Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Straight cash, homie.
Hold on to your butts.